Welcome back to the Mountain Futures YouTube channel. For today's episode, we're in the beautiful White Pine Lake area of Little Cottonwood Canyon in northern Utah. And so we're here to sample streams for Anna, a PhD student in my lab's graduate research project. She's working on how mountain ice impacts stream characteristics, things like nutrient content, temperature, flow. So the team that we have today is myself, Anna, the graduate student, and then Taylor, who is a friend of the lab and was happy to come along on a beautiful hike to help out. Okay, so let me talk about the White Pine Lake area. It's a high alpine basin. It reaches over 10,000 feet. It's nestled just north of White Baldy, and then the Pfeiffer Horn is another tall mountain nearby. And it is absolutely chock full of rock glaciers. So there are something like 10 or 12 rock glacier lobes that I could identify looking at the satellite imagery. Many of them have outlet streams. White Pine Lake itself is fed by a rock glacier fed stream, which you'll see in today's episode. And so for our focus, we went in this route, standard hiking trail up to White Pine Lake, and then just went a little bit above it. And we were focused on sampling 3 streams. So a stream fed by the White Pine Rock Glacier, a stream fed by another rock glacier nearby, and then a stream that isn't fed by a rock glacier. It's fed by snowmelt and other groundwater. And we use that other stream as a reference for, what's the contribution of the rock glacier ice versus other ice and other types of water to compare the two. All right, so we're arriving at the site now, and this is what a normal sampling bout looks like at one of our streams. So I'm there preparing a temperature logger to go in the stream, so we'll have hourly data about this stream going forward. Anna's collecting water and rocks for her and Taylor to filter water for measuring nutrients. We're scrubbing rocks to see what kind of algal communities live on them. Anna just put the YSI multimeter that we use in the water. The YSI measures things like stream temperature, conductivity, which is like ionic content in the water, dissolved oxygen, all that kind of stuff. And so now Anna's taking some notes, Taylor's finishing up, and now they're actually going to measure how much light penetrates the water in this collapsible bucket by the stream. All right, next on the list, we're going to measure flow. We have our YSI. Anna has salt. And we got to go find a suitable spot downstream. We are measuring flow using a method called the salt slug injection method. And it's pretty simple. We have a meter, which I'm carrying around, that YSI I mentioned earlier. Okay. It measures conductivity, which conductivity is ionic content in the water, so things like salts. These streams tend to be really low in ionic conductivity, or in conductivity. And so we will go upstream, find a suitable spot, we'll inject salt, and then we will wait for that salt to pass by the meter, which is in the stream recording, which we're going to see, I think, here. And there'll be a spike in the conductivity. It'll rise up to a 3 or 4 or 5 times the background level, and then it'll slowly fall back to that level. And we can use the area under that curve to actually calculate the amount of flow. As that comes down, I'll highlight for people, put the YSI in, and I'm trying to find a spot where it's basically in the middle of the stream, and I actually tried to put it such that the sensor is about halfway in the water column. I use this rod to balance. Definitely water. Not a ton, but probably a liter per second.
I think this is our best coast of the non-rock glacier.
I think it is. I'm wondering if we should go a little bit down,
Yeah.
just to get, because it's kind of collecting right here.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks for joining. There'll be a lot more episodes in this series. We're going to keep putting out ones of the various trips that we go on. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It means a lot seeing those of you that have and leaving comments and liking the videos. It's really encouraging for us as we continue to put out these videos.